Hi, I'm Craig of IT and Gadget Solutions on YouTube, and today I'm going to show you how you can use a function of disk utility that is available on all Apple products. So, I'm Craig. I'm going to show you how you can do this using any Apple product, whether it be your iMac or your MacBook. So, let's get into this video and start. So yeah, I currently have the iMac, and the function we're going to be talking about today is disk utility. Now, as you can see there, it's highlighted. Disk utility is a powerful tool where you can basically manage all your hard drives internally and externally. So why, you may ask, this is because if you want to split any hard drives, say you wanted to split the hard drive in half, one for your files, one for your media, or whatever your needs may be, whether you want just to half your drive to offload all your videos you might be doing for editing for YouTube, etc. So yeah, so a little bit in depth of actually what disk utility is. So this is a feature that all comes in all Apple products, mostly MacBooks and iMacs, as well as the mini Apple and the Pro, and obviously you've got the desktop as well, the tower. So you get this no matter what. It's a function that Apple uses to manage its hard drive, and basically you can choose to do troubleshooting on one hard drive, or you want to do first aid. You may have got error on the drive, it'll check you that way, and partition, and that just basically splitting the drive in half. Now I will go through each one of these and show you what they can do. So yeah, so how do you get to this? Well, I've got this as an icon on my desktop, because I'm using Stage Manager. I ain't got nothing on my desktop apart from a window open. So you would find this in your app Launchpad. So you open Launchpad, and then you want to be looking for utilities or other, if it's different on I am running an iMac with Ventura, because I don't have my Mac doesn't support Sonoma or vice versa, but you will still get this no matter what. So yeah, so into other, and then you'll have different icons. Now, disk utility is, as you can see, is on the left, on my right hand side here, this one here, and it will open it up as a window. Now you can add an icon by doing this to desktop by going into Finder, New Window, into Applications, and then you want to be looking for disk utility. Now, so scroll into where this is where all your apps are stored on the Mac or MacBook you might have. Down into utilities plain folder, here, this one here, and this is all the utilities you'll have to manage different features of the Mac. So your activity mode, performance, and running background processes. So migration assistant, if you want to use a Windows program on it, keychain, etc. etc. But this video, disk utility. Now, to create the icon, to do this is to drag this utility over the desktop and click copy. Now it'll give you the second name on the end here called alias, because this is because we've got one already on the desktop. So that's how you can copy and put your app over to your desktop that way. So we can move it to the bin safely. This is only a shortcut. This won't remove the program. Just put it into bin and open up this utility. So yeah, this utility, it shows all the details of your hard drive, what kind of hard drive it is. So this is the main hard drive of my iMac. So it shows what macOS I'm on, which is 13.7.2, which is the 22H313 version of Ventura. I think it's Ventura. I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure I am running Ventura. If you want, let's just double check if I am. We've got system settings on the top left hand corner. If you wanted to confirm that, and it will only bring up your system dialog in general. Just let it load. Sorry about this. So yes, this is this utility. It shows you what hard drive you're currently running on, whether you got, say, two internal hard drives, or you can only, it's impossible, but you'll have your main on the left hand side, sorry, and you have the details on the right pane of this window. So basically, it shows you how many space you've got. So I'm currently using 9.35 gigabytes. Other volumes, that's how much space I've got that the system is using. And then free, I've got 895 gigabyte left. So the system is using 9.35 gigabyte. And because it's split already into a volume, that's the other volume of the main hard drive that's been split. So yeah, it tells you details, what's available, what you're using, and what size. This is a 1 terabyte SATA on the Intel iMac at the moment, as you can tell at the top right hand corner there, which is shared by 5 volumes. So yeah, so to go into some of these features, just at top there, go show all devices, and then it'll all bring up any hard drives that's been created by the system and any external. So this is my external hard drive, which is a Samsung T7, 1 terabyte. It's a small one that's connected to the back of my iMac. But yeah, what happens is this is your main hard drive, and this is split into containers, which is basically a container disk. It's more of a volume which controls off the hard drive, and it shows you exactly what's been used. So the main hard drive, the red one is your data, what's been used. Virtual machine, your pre-boot, which is when it boots up, boots your iMac. Then one I'm not mounted, which I don't know what that is. And then you got your free space, which is all this. I currently reason I've got all this is because I'm using my iCloud. So yeah, what would you want to do if you wanted to split the hard drive? So at the top here, you can see first aid and partition. Now partition will half your drive. Now Apple iMac will tell you whether you want it as a volume or whether you want it as a separate drive entirely. So what we can do is go partition, and then it'll bring up a different window. Now, partition device of the main hard drive. Now, to do this, it says click to add to increase the number of partitions on the device, which is the hard drive. So we can create this. Think of this as a pie. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., and go also on and on. So you can create different volumes on one drive. Now, that's how to create partitions on the drive. Now, when we click the plus icon, now it comes up, do you want to add a volume to the APFS, that's your main hard drive container that you want to use in, or do you actually want to divide the hard drive in half, which will then put it into a separate partition, which would be a separate drive you can use you can have it separately from your main drive. Now, if you've it gives you two versions, and add partition or add volume. Add volume is the first one I said, so it adds this volume into off one drive, or split the hard drive into another drive, if that makes sense. I know it's a bit confusing, but yes, basically it tells you there, when an Apple file system contains multiple volumes, its free space is shared. So basically the free space is shared on the main hard drive. It can be allocated to the individual volume as needed, so separate volumes are on different, all on one drive. Or you can add a partition. Now, partition is slightly different. It does the same roughly, but it divides it. It allocates a certain amount of space you want on a different drive altogether. So it'll be one drive altogether off. But by doing this, you will be decreasing the main hard drive space of it. So if you go 1 terabyte, and say you do a 20 gig, the drive will go down to about 860, something like that, gigabyte left. So yes, that's what you can do. So add partition. Now what happens is, the blue side of it is what is being partitioned, and then you can rename it and click any format. Being Apple, you would have to use the APFS. Now, APFS, I gotta get this right, it stands for Apple File System, which is the system Apple uses. Or you can use, which is the older version of when it used to be have the older Macs and MacBooks, is macOS Extended Journal. So that is the file system, or you can make it as a MDOS, FAT, or exFAT. So, but yeah, so we can decrease it or we increase it. The more you increase it, the more or less you have of your main hard drive. So for this partition, we're just going to decrease it a lot smaller, just so I can show you in this video quickly. 11.2, and we got 999 gigabyte of the main hard drive still. So this blue is what you're going to be using, which is called Untitled. You can put any name in, click apply, and partition. Now, resizing will stop the computer fully, so it can make a success sizing of the drive to take place. So it ends any programs you might have running in the background. So it allows the computer to decrease and have all the resource to process your partition. Click continue, and it starts to do it. Now, you can't use your Mac Junior while it does this. It goes through the method of applying the changes to what you've just done. So we I've done, I can't remember, it was 11 point, yeah, we've done 11.1 gigabytes. So this will run, and normally it's quick, depending on the size of the drive you are splitting into. And don't be alarmed if it's not moving. It's just, it is working. But if you want to make sure, to be rest assured, you can show details, and the computer will bring down a pop down on exactly what the computer is doing. It's now shrinking the drive down to the required space you want, and also underneath you can see what it's actually doing. So at the moment it is shrinking the drive down to the required size of the partition you've requested and that you want to be using. So with this, this is almost, it's the same perspective when using a Windows computer. So with Windows, while that's doing that, I can show you exactly what a Windows would look like if you were to do the same. Now, I won't go through this, but basically, what you need to be looking for: computer management. Normally in your programs, you can enter a computer management here, or you can go down and it will be in Windows Administrative or Tools, Computer Management, and in here it does the same thing. This will populate all the drives. So on the right hand side, sorry, left hand side there. Sorry about my left and right. But yeah, on the left hand side, click Disk Management, and the computer will compute all the drives, how many drives you've got on the drive. And on this one, I've got quite a fair bit because I've got all my external hard drives and my Plex media server and connected. So, see, so I've already done it. So, like the C drive, which is disk 0, this is the main hard drive. It is split in for the recovery partition and etc. It does the same thing. So, this is my Plex media server. That is my other external drive, etc. Now, disk 3, there we go. This is a USB stick. You can even partition a USB stick as well. So, as you can see in black means it's unallocated. So, you can create a new simple volume. Now, again, volume. Windows and Apple pretty much work the same, but different interfaces entirely, but it's almost the same thing when dealing with hard drives and creating or splitting hard drives into partitions or share or creating new volumes on the drive. So like creating a volume, you basically add in volume after volume after volume onto that you currently have on that one drive. So that one drive, we think, right, I've got a main one, right, I want to create a volume. So that's one. But you can keep going around and around and around, adding volumes at a time. And that's what you can do. Partition is entirely different. Like I've said, you split in the entire drive. So you got, even though you're still your main drive, you have one side of your main what you're using, and the other side for your media or other files, whatever. So that is what this is all about on this video today. So yeah, basically this is, you can control all your drives in here. So this one, like I've said, this is where is a perfect example of what it means about partitioning the drive. So this is one whole drive but split into threes. So 1, 2, 3 volumes. But these are not volumes. As you can see, it says partition. Partition. Now if it's a volume, the volume is exactly like a key in the box. Basically, the volume will stay within the drive, whereas partition is off the drive, so it'll have its own file system. So yeah, that is computer management on a Windows system, and as you can see, I've got loads of devices connected externally. After much deliberation, it can take various minutes or to hours depending on the drive, whether it's a healthy drive. I found out that to be there was a slight problem, but it does do with Apple. It does check all this before you even start. After you process it, if Apple detects anything while splitting the drive, it fixes that properly first, and then it will continue. Now, as you can see, that's been successful with a green tick. If it's an X, you got a problem, and it'll just revert back to what it was before. So now that's done, and now we know that's been partitioned, you can go okay. Now, on the left hand side, you can see utilise, and this is what we have got. We have got 11 gigabytes to use. So what we can do from here, just utility, press, if you can double click to open it, show and finder, and this is the drive we've just created. And now you can use it as a normal drive. You can add files to it, vice versa. So basically what we can do is use it as a drive. What we can do is we can drag files onto it, vice versa, and that's what you can do. And it's instantly dropped in, and you just use it as you want. So yeah, and you can drag that back to your desktop, and basically that's how you can do it, and remove files. So that's the partition added. So if we go back into, because I'm currently using Stage Manager, which what happens is all your windows go off to the left. So bring up this manager. Now what we want to do, say, right, I don't need this anymore. So but you want to remove the drive and put the more memory back on, put the more storage back onto the hard drive, or delete the drive. You can. Now, container disk, which creates the drive, which is entitled. What we need to go is, you do not go this way. Click partition, and this is what has been used, and titled. Now we can press that one, and then it will revert it all back to normal. If we click cancel and go back into partition, this is your main hard drive. The blue bit is what's selected at the moment. and you can confirm this on the side. You're currently on the main hard drive that's clicked. See, so all this blue is what's your main hard drive. That little grey bit is the untitled one. So if you click that, and it tells you the details, untitled there, make sure it's untitled, the drive or whatever the name of your drive you've created. Click minus. And then again, it will go back for the same method. It's just done like resizing the drive, or if you want to revert, I'll just put it back, but we want to take it away. So click minus, and then that's the main hard drive. That bit there, that's what's been used. All this is our free space. Click apply. And now what it will do is now it will repartition the drive and erase what's stored on that drive, which is the untitled, as you can see. So partition, and normally straight away it's instant. It goes through the operation on removing that drive you've created, and it will grow the container, basically add the memory back to the main drive you created a partition from, and eventually you're back to normal as you were. Now our next feature will be coming up just in the moment after this is done, the resizing, which we will talk about the first aid. Here we go. It's done. The operation successful. Again, green tick, and it's reverted back to normal. So the drive is gone, and we gained the more space we gained from that old drive that we did just create. Now, first aid. Now, I'm going to take you to Windows first before we go into the first aid side of it, so I can explain to you a bit more clarity, because it does almost the same thing, but on the Apple device system, it's called first aid. Now, go over to the Windows computer. Basically, first aid on the laptop is iMac is moreover no less than disk defrag. Now, you should know all disk defrag is. Basically, I just got to search for it. DISK DEF. There it is on the second one down. It's moreover the same thing, like I've just said. That'll just load in, and as you can see there, I'll just take you in more so you can see more clarity. Basically, this is where you can maintain and optimize the speed of your drive. The more often you do this, the more quicker your hard drive will be, like on boot up. So if you've got a slow boot up, you will have to defrag your drives. Now I've got a couple there, and quickly, now if you've got an SSD, which I have on one of these, like the Seagate, which is a hard disk drive, unfortunately, not an SSD. Look, it goes quick as anything. So watch when I optimize now. It flies by because I've already defragged it back earlier on in the week. So I always maintain my drives, always do this on a weekly basis, so your drives are quick and fast and clear. Basically, what optimized drive means is it allocates and moves files back and forth, clearing old space and rewriting with new data over the drive, and it makes the files and the actual PC more quicker to find your files and quicker boot up. So take that into consideration, because it's almost the exact same thing with Apple. Now, again, first aid is on top here, so we go first aid. So it optimizes the drives. We'll check all the volume for errors, like same with we got with Windows, and repairs the drive, etc. We can click run. Now when we run this, again, the computer will stop responding for the process to run efficiently and quickly, and making sure the drive is fine to run. So click run. It does give you a warning that it will stop responding, depending on the size, depending on how old, depending various factors of the drive. It can take a long time, but I'm always maintaining your drive on a weekly basis, so you're on top of your maintenance scheduled tasks, such as cleaning your drive, optimizing your drive, cleaning down any files you don't need, like moving over to external drives. Always use your iCloud as a backup. But yeah, so continue. Again, it'll stop responding. So whatever I do is checking all the entire disk contents, going through, checking the files, etc. There's no errors. We will do that as well. And as you know, straight away, a green tick, and the file system is error free, and no errors have been found, and has been remounted. Now, if you get any trouble doing this, you would have an X red mark by the drive, and that could mean the drive could be 1, corrupt, 2, there's a problem with the drive, or it's just a simple software bug, vice versa. It could be numerous of things. It could fail. The file system is not configured right. But in this aspect, what I would suggest is backing up all your sister files and then doing a hard drive reset, which you would have to wipe the drive and reinstall Mac. Now, with Apple iCloud is bloody fantastic. If you just solely use iCloud for all your files in your backup, that's your ace in the hole. All you have to do is just wipe your drive. I would just do an offline backup just in case, and reset your drive that way. By doing and wiping the drive, we'll get rid of anything. But if it's depending on how badly corrupted the drive is, if it doesn't work, I suggest you booking in to see a computer professional to put in a new hard drive. This has happened to me before. I've had to have a new hard drive on my laptop. But yeah, drives are really frequent. But now with Apple, they like to put in SATA drives, I believe. I'm not quite sure what kind of hard drive this is. I don't know if it's a SATA or a normal hard drive, because I don't know what kind of drive. Yes, it is SATA. It does tell you there. So yes, so that's a SATA drive, same as with a drive. But what will happen is you might need to restart your computer. So that is first aid and how to partition. The other function is if you want to add a volume. Now, volume is adding, which shares the same storage space within the main hard drive, like I've mentioned. So yeah, I won't go over this now, but you got the idea on how to do volume splits and partitions. But yeah, same goes for the external drive, but depending on the drive it is. Now, solid state you cannot unfortunately partition, because if it's a solid state, the solid state drive will not allow you to split the drive completely. As My mouse is a bit juggy since the repair, bear with me. Right, connected, there you go. Basically it will not, it's grayed out. I can check the drive for first day for any errors, etc., but I can't split it. Now, even if I go down to its container, again, volume, I still can't do it. You cannot split an SSD because it's a non-movable drive. Now, movable drive, what I mean by non-movable, it doesn't have no arm or the actuator. It hasn't got any moving bits in the drive. That's a hard drive, but in an SSD they don't have that. It's just one complete drive. That's why it's solid, so it does not, it's quicker, it's faster, and it's easier to use on Apple. All MacBooks, all iMacs now currently come with standard 1 terabyte SSD on the new ones, but I have got the older iMac. It still does my job. I do a lot of editing on this. This is an iMac 5. I can run DaVinci editing videos, and I don't have no trouble at all. Now, if I was to use Premiere Pro with Adobe, I would normally struggle with that. So that's why I've gone to DaVinci. DaVinci is not more of a CPU hugging, it's more of a memory hugging thingy. But I've got quite a few memory in this. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope you find this video very informative. If you need any advice or any of the stuff I'm trying to explain to you over the video, you're not quite certain what's what, please do drop a comment in below this video. Do like my video, subscribe to my video, and turn your notifications on for further video releases on my YouTube channel. I'm Craig of IT and Gadget Solutions on YouTube. Thank you and good night.